It is 6:46 Eastern Pacific Time, and I will be back in 5 minutes. I am just grabbing the book. Hi, Trevor. Can you keep track of any comments about the reading? Okay. Hi, honey. Can you hit like? Because you're going to love this. Oh, I watched all your videos, by the way. I'm all caught up. Okay, but can you hit like? Hit like. Okay. This is my business associate manager slash editor slash genius. Okay, so let's see if the sound's working. Let's get into it. Okay, chapter 1 of The Exorcism of Anneliese Michael, The Childhood Years. And remember that this is based on the movie The Exorcism of Emily Rose, which starred yours truly, Jennifer Carpenter, as you can see here, and she made this face that actually scared all the directors. And all of them looked at each other and said, "Did you see that?" Which picture was it? Was it? No, it wasn't that one. That's the horse's eye. Was it this one? No. But there's a really, she made this face that freaked out the directors, producers, and the other actors. I haven't seen Jennifer Carpenter in anything since Dexter. I mean, she was 4 feet tall when she made this. Okay, chapter 1, the early years. Anneliese Michael was not quite 24 years old when she died. She was a child of the stable, frugal, industrious, slow-moving German middle class, more peasant than urban, law-abiding in Bavaria, where she was born Catholic. The Michaels had been village artisans for centuries, mainly builders and bricklayers. Her father's father, so her grandfather, owned a sawmill in Klingenberg. So did her mother's father, her grandfather, Ferg, in Leifend, a small community in Lower Bavaria. Anneliese was born there on September 21st of 1952. So if she was still alive today, she would be 79 years old. I wish she had lived to tell the tale. The second child of her mother, a first daughter, Martha. So Martha is Annaliese's mother, and she was the eldest daughter. Died. Oh, sorry, she was the second child of her mother. Oh, Anneliese was the second daughter. The first daughter, her name was Martha, and she had a sister that died at the age of 8 of a kidney ailment. Everyone loved little Martha. The family is wont to tell, which means back then, especially in the 50s, particularly in highly, is Catholicized a word, or people that were highly practicing Catholicism, they were so devout that they wont to tell means that they don't like to share anything about their personal lives, which kind of seems to be the complete opposite of the way people are now. I mean, for gosh sakes, if anybody hides a doctor's appointment, you're put on the grill. All right, so, hi, Trevor. Hi, it's me. I look as scary as Emily. No, I don't. Maybe I should put on the retouch. Okay, so anyways, back to what we were talking about, reading about. Okay, so everyone loved little Martha. The family is wont to tell. She liked to pray and was a gay and gentle child. Now, before everybody freaks out and says gay, back then gay meant happy. The image of the pious child recalls altar paintings from the Bavarian Baroque. When Annalise was little, she often visited with her grandparents. She often visited with her grandparents in Leifing. Throughout her life, she retained some of the special lilt of the dialect of the village of her mother. And back in those days, there were many dialects in Bavaria and in Germany, especially after the war. The latter, Anna Ferg, had attended 3 years of secondary school and then went on to commercial training, the usual choice of the girls of her class. Only the brightest went on to become nuns or enrolled in college of education for training as school teachers. So, in short, school teacher or nun. Now, it goes on to say that Annalise really did consider joining the nunnery, kind of like Ave Maria from The Sound of Music. But at any rate, all right, at 22, he was drafted at the okay, so this is Annalise's father, and his name was Joseph. So he was called to war at the outbreak of the Second World War. So Annalise's father fought first on the Western Front between Belgium and France, and then sent to Russia. Concerning this acquaintance, there is a torching little entry dated October 29th, 1975 in Annalise's diary. That was a year before she passed away, if I'm not mistaken. And it reads, St. Joseph told me that he was the one who saw to it that Papa found those boots in Russia. Papa often told about this, that in Russia his feet nearly froze off. Then suddenly in the snow, he found a pair of wonderful Russian boots. Toward the end of the war, Joseph Michael became a prisoner of the Americans. He was released in June 1945 and went to Munich to attend a school for construction work in 1946. In the summer of 1948, he passed his master's examination. He took over the family business in Klingenberg and married Mama 2 years later. Upon returning from the war, Joseph Michael found his parents' home, and in his community nearly untouched by the ravages of air attacks that had destroyed the larger cities. In the earlier centuries, it was considered dangerous to live in small communities in the time of war. It was much more likely to be looted and its inhabitants is murdered by armies passing through because its fortifications were so much weaker than those of the larger cities. In the period of modern warfare, being a small community proved to be an advantage, and Klingenberg is very small. It houses not quite 3,000 souls, located in the district of Abenberg in Bavaria, one of the lands in Western Germany. And I'll get to my theory. I loved all your videos, and I'll get to my theory about Germany and possession and Italy and Poland and possession, and why maybe it happens over there more than here in Canada and in the US. Back to the reading. On the hillside, vineyards climbed the slopes in a framed rectangle. The peasants, whose home in Klingenberg remains to this day, have known how to make red wine for over 2 million years, for over 2 millennia. For the art of winemaking was introduced to them by the Romans. Here, there is a stone from the ancient Roman settlement that once stood here, turns up the walls of the terraces which the grapes are grown. Tourists come to taste the wine at the taverns of Klingenberg, and in the church of the priests' blessings turns it into the blood of the Lord. A castle guards the breakthrough, the narrows between the folding hills. In this time, it housed some petty nobles, robber barons who took their toll off the boots floating toward the Rhine with their cargoes of grain and wine. Today, school children come in on the train that connects Klingenberg with the larger town of Miltenberg and with Aschenfenberg, the district capital where Annalise attended high school. The children climb over the tumbled walls of the castle, laid low by the powder charge of some long-forgotten French soldier. The brick battlements had blocked long-forgotten French soldiers. The path of the armies of Louis the, 16th, which came through here in the late 1680s to assert the claim of their son king to the wine-rich Palestine. They left behind dead peasants, felled fruit trees, and scorched vineyards. It had been the second time in a century that this had occurred. For 2 generations earlier, the plundering mercenaries of the 30 Years' War had similar scars. Okay, I'm going to stop there. That's 14 minutes. That's about as long a time as I can read without getting interrupted, and then give you my take at the end of a few pages, and then I'll read in a couple more days or whenever the Spirit moves me, but it'll be at least 2 times in a week under the playlist, The Exorcism of Anneliese Michael. Think about what I just read. Where was she born? These are going to be questions on the raffle, and the raffle's January the 2nd for $50. And if you want to participate, go on to the community page, plop your name down, and then you're in the raffle. So, what area was Annalise born in, and where are her family roots? Where one of the worst genocides that we talk about in history, and one of the most evil men in the world, Hitler. So underneath that was the blood of the First World War, and peasants and soldiers from the French Revolution and Louis the 16th. So if you all don't believe that devils exist, then y'all don't believe in God. And I'm going to leave it at that. And to catch up on all the readings, go to the playlist. And if you want to find out about the raffle, you have to go watch the whole thing. And one of the assignments for the raffle, Trevor, I thought this is how we could increase our watch hours. If you join the raffle, you have to pick one live from the oldest to the newest and tell us which one it is, what you didn't like about it, and what you liked about it. And then we put your name in a hat, and whoever's name we pull out, it's $50. So, or for Amazon card, all right? And we do this because it's a non-donation charity, but I can't go through that every time. But Trevor, I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. We will talk about God and all of that good stuff that you love to do, like karaoke Fridays, dude. Do you like my new shirt? Roots, 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 roots. Bye, Trevor. Thank you for watching.